Hello, good morning. Welcome to our Saturday morning meditation. Uh, we are going to start with some 7-line prayer. So we'll do this 3 times through. Om Organ yogi nom jansam pemage sardompola yatsen chogi ngorupne pemma jongne jesurak koru kandro mangpokor ketki jesudak druki jinji lop chia shiksu so guru pema city home. Organ yogi nom jansam pemage sardompola yatsen chogi ngorupne pemma jongne jesudak koru kandro mangpokor ketki jesudak drupki jinji lop chia shiksu so guru pema city home. Organ yogi nom jansam pemage sardompola yatsen chogi ngorupne pemma jongne jesurak pordu kandro mangpokor ketki jesudak druki jinji lop chia shiksu so guru pema city home. Okay. Let's take a moment to remember our motivation for being here today and to generate compassion. So whenever we begin an activity, we should always begin by generating compassion for all sentient beings. Where our kind of natural or our habitual motivation tends to be self-motivated. We tend to have kind of a very small focus on just what will make us happy, what will make our close friends and family happy. Our motivation tends to be very selfish in that way. So we always want to start an activity by broadening that motivation, broadening our heart, opening our heart up to all sentient beings, and including them. Making having a motivation be really expansive, and wishing for the ultimate happiness of all sentient beings, not just for ourselves and our loved ones, but for all sentient beings. So let's take a moment to generate compassion and make the wish that our meditation here today will bring immeasurable benefit, not only to ourselves, but to all sentient beings. And the meditation that we'll be doing today is called Shamatha meditation or Shine meditation. This is taught by Jetsma in her book, Stabilizing the Mind. This meditation is also known as single-pointed concentration. So what we're doing is we're having single-pointed concentration on one thing during the meditation. So today we're going to be focusing on our breath. But we can also do this meditation focusing on other objects. So you can, instead of resting your mind on your breath, which I'll give you instruction on how we're going to do that. But you can do this meditation on the breath. You can also rest your attention on something like a flower or a candle or an image of the Buddha. So that's another way you can do this meditation. And for some people, focusing on their breath can make them very anxious. And so I want to make sure that people know that there's multiple ways to do this. When usually the only time when we really have a lot of conscious awareness of our breath is when something is wrong, like we're sick and we can't breathe. And then we're consciously aware, like, oh, it's hard to breathe, and you're consciously aware of your breath. So sometimes putting our conscious awareness on our breath can make us be like, oh no, something's wrong. It can kind of make you feel anxious. So if that's the case for you, don't worry. You can try the breath meditation. You can also follow the exact same instructions and do it for an object like a flower or a candle, um, or an image of the Buddha, or really any object. So meditating in this way, this type of meditation, uh, it trains our mind to be calm and relaxed while also being alert and wakeful. And meditation is the natural state of mind when it's relaxed, stable, and open. You might say, well, that's not how my mind feels normally. So, how could that be the natural state? And it's just that we have a habit of not being in our natural state. We have a habit of chasing our thoughts around and kind of letting our monkey mind go wild, and being very reactive to anything that happens to us, anything in our environment or in our lives. And so that habit is very, very, very strong of not being in this natural state. So the natural state of mind is when it's relaxed, stable, and open, but we just need to make a habit of connecting with that state, and practicing doing that instead of the other stuff we do with our minds. I think it was Chagda Tuku. He says that when if you think about, like, if you have a rolled up paper, you have a paper that's rolled very tightly, and then when you unfurl it, it's still curled. It's got a curl in it because it's had a habit of being rolled very, very tightly, like a poster that you've had a poster in a closet for a long time all rolled up. And you take it out and you roll it out and it's just still curled, right? And it doesn't lay flat. So that's what our minds are like. It feels like that when we're trying to meditate. It feels like trying to get that poster to lay flat. But over time, it does. You spend more time laying it flat. Maybe you need to wait on the edges a little bit, but over time, it does relax and lay flat. It stops that habitual curl. So that's what our minds are like. We just need to practice not being all curled up in our habitual ways of acting. So this kind of meditation that we're going to do creates space in the mind. That's the point of this meditation, is to create space in the mind. And creating space in the mind helps us to balance our emotions. It gives us time between action and reaction. And that space is actually the first step in the development of bodhicitta, which is the compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. So having that space in your mind, it's like so often we don't have that space. Something happens, we immediately just react. We're like a rubber ball bouncing around a room. We just bounce off of this, bounce off of this, bounce off of this. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you immediately are like, hey, and you call them a name, you flip them off, whatever. Or your kid does something annoying and and you snap. It's very or you're scrolling on the internet and you click on clickbait. It got you. You see a headline and you're like, oh, what's that? And you click it. You didn't even think. You just did it. So our that's how our habit is, to just react, and without much actual conscious thought. So when you have this space in your mind, though, what will start to happen is you'll start to see, instead of just this happens and you react immediately, maybe it'll go like this happens, and then you see this reaction start to arise in your mind. You watch it. You see it, how you go, oh, there's my anger reaction coming. Yeah, that's coming up right now. That's not going to help the situation. I'm going to do something else. But you actually have that space to see the reaction happening, see the mental reaction happening without just being like immediately swept up by it and completely identifying with it, instead of identifying with it as that's how I feel. And you're like, oh, that's some anger showing up. Oh, okay. Maybe I don't want to choose anger in this moment. Maybe I'm gonna get down on my kids' level and address them about this instead of snapping like I usually do, but you start having some space to make different decisions. And that is really empowering. And and that's how we can kind of start gaining control of our minds and our lives. And with that space, we can start developing the bodhicitta, which is the great compassionate wish to free all sentient beings from suffering. So we definitely need, that's not our habit to wish for all sentient beings. It's our habit to just think about ourselves. So you see, we need to relax those habits to make space for other sentient beings. You know, we have to relax our habits so that we can move past just our habit of focusing on ourselves. So let's do the meditation. You're going to take a comfortable seat. You can sit on the floor, cross-legged. You could sit in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair, make sure your feet are on the floor so you're still grounded. You might want to meditate on sitting on your bed or something like that, and that's fine. Just make sure that wherever you're sitting, you want to make sure that you have a cushion underneath you that's going to support your back so that you sit up straight. We don't meditate in like a slumped posture or it's better not to meditate laying down also, unless you really need to, like if you're in a hospital or something, that's fine. But we want to sit up straight. So make sure you've got a good cushion to help you sit up straight. And you can check in with your posture. You can imagine a thread going up your spine and out the crown of your head, and just tug on that thread a little bit. Just pull it up. And so you're sitting up nice and straight. And your shoulders are open, your rib cage is open. We want to have room to breathe. Allowing ourselves room to breathe in and out also helps our mind with letting experiences and thoughts go in and out and not getting so stuck by them. So in general, the posture of our body is the reason why we do these postures, is to support our practice. And there's a reason for each part of the posture. But we're sitting up straight, shoulders are open, ribs are open. Your hands are going to be gently relaxed in your lap. You can rest them palms down on your thighs, or you can place like one hand in the other with your thumbs touching, and then place your hands gently below your navel. And your eyes are going to be open. Your eyes are going to be looking slightly down, and you can imagine another thread. You can imagine a thread going down the bridge of your nose, down, down, down to the floor. And just find a point along that line where it's comfortable to rest your gaze. And then lastly, you're going to place the tip of your tongue gently behind your front teeth. And allow yourself to relax completely and breathe normally. Just settle into your natural rhythm of breathing. If you want to take a few deep breaths to get started, you could do that. And just start relaxing into your natural breathing rhythm. And then you're going to put a very light attention on your breathing. Don't try to control it at all. Just breathe naturally in your natural rhythm with the most gossamer thin attention on the surface of your breath. It's like taking your pulse. You don't put any pressure on it, just observing it. Your attention is like a feather, gently riding on the surface of your breath. And when thoughts come up, thoughts will definitely come up. That is normal. That is fine. When they come up, just let them go like bubbles popping on the surface of a pond. Just let the thoughts pop. You don't even have to look to see what they are. Your meditation is not lost by hearing your thoughts, but by following them down the road. So when you find yourself following a thought, just as soon as you notice it, drop it and come back to your breath. So we'll just return again and again to the gossamer thin attention on the surface of our breath. And we're just going to do a short meditation to get started. So we'll just meditate for this time for 5 minutes. So just keep coming back again and again to your breath. So my meditation timer is trying to upsell me. Okay, come back again and again to your breath. Here we go. Excuse me. Okay, so that was our warm-up meditation. If you are not used to meditating, that might have felt like a long time. And if you're used to meditating, it might have gone by quickly. Even just a few minutes of meditation like that on a regular basis can really make a difference in relaxing our habits of mind. And if you're looking to build up your meditation practice, right now we're doing the KPC's annual meditation challenge for the month of February. The challenge is to do 5 minutes of meditation every day for the month of February. You can join anytime. You just make a commitment to yourself. I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes a day. And then you can follow us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, or visit our website, tara.org/meditate, to access all of these guided meditation videos and teachings about meditation, and that we'll be sharing. So, and that's a good way to get started with jumpstart a meditation practice. Just doing 5 minutes a day, every day, you'll really feel a difference by the end of the month. So we'll do another meditation session. And, this meditation I mentioned, you can do this with not just with your breath, but you can also meditate on an object. So if you're looking to fit meditation into your day and places, it doesn't always have to be a formal meditation practice. You can sit down formally on your cushion and do the 7-point meditation posture and meditate. And you can also do a meditation at any time in your day with the 2-point meditation posture, which is just straight spine, relaxed muscles. That's it. And then you can meditate. So if you are riding the metro, maybe take a few minutes to meditate on the metro. You can meditate on your breath. You could meditate on, you could find something to look at, a newspaper someone dropped on the floor of the metro. You could focus on that. That's fine. Dzongster Khyentse Rinpoche, he had a great idea that he shared for a way to meditate during your day, is that in the morning when you're having your coffee, you could take a moment and just rest your attention on your coffee. And when you start thinking about your car, you start thinking about your day, whatever, you bring your attention back to your coffee. And you just bring that attention back to the coffee again and again. So that's an easy way to just fit meditation in at some point in your day. And even just doing it for a minute, it makes a difference. So we'll do a little bit of a longer sit this time. So we'll sit with a straight back, hands in your lap, eyes relaxed and gently gazing downwards. Allow yourself to relax completely and breathe naturally. And then put that very light attention on your breathing. Don't try to control it at all. Just breathe as you normally would, with the most gossamer thin attention on your breath. When the thoughts come up, just let them go, like bubbles popping on the surface of a pond. And if it's really difficult for you to dismiss your thoughts, you can imagine spaghetti tongs, like picking up the thought and dropping it, or you can visualize cutting them with scissors and throwing them away. But you always return to that single-pointed concentration. Just return again and again to that gossamer thin attention on your breath. Okay, we'll meditate a little bit longer this time. Okay, so that's our meditation for today. And we will close with some dedication prayers to to seal in the merit that we just accumulated. So we'll say all of these prayers. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. Okay, thank you for joining today, and I hope to see you next week.